Hey Tim, every match of the men's and women's Ashes will be shown live on Sky Sports and Now from the
16th of June.
watch it.
You actually forgot the date, didn't you?
Completely forgot the date when the Ashes starts.
Lovely, thanks very much for your time, Nasser. Great to see you. So just 10 really quick fire questions. So the first one is just one word to describe Ben Stokes.
Unbelievable.
Second question is, does Stuart Broad just say things to wind Australians up?
Is this a one-word answer?
No, you can
It
divulge
wouldn't be with
on this.
Broady. Absolutely. I think he loves all the pre-Ashes banter, and the pre-Ashes is ding-dong with Stark already about COVID and bubbles. One thing with Stuart, if you talk the talk, you better go out there and walk the walk. And Broad has done that for a number of years, and he's done it in Ashes battles. He loves the limelight. He loves being centre stage. He thrives on that.
It's very un-English, isn't it? I couldn't imagine, did anyone in your team sort of give it
Well, that's
the
my
big
point. Might have given it the big one and then lost 4-1 or something. So, no, it is a bit un-English, but Broady loves that. Broady loves the battle. You know, when you're playing Ashes series, and I know they've got to pick a spinner now, one thing I would go, is he up for the battle? Is he up for the fight? Australia come at you hard. It's the biggest test series for an England player and an Australian player. So you better be up for it, and that's why you look at Michael Vaughan's 2005 Ashes series. You know, when they needed to be and hold their nerve, they certainly did that. So you want real characters, not just about stats going into Ashes, it's about characters as well.
Sorry, this isn't in the questions, but
Okay.
I'm going to ask it. Yeah, is that the difference you think between the sort of the 90s and now? Is that English players don't take a backward step?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously that 90s Australian side in particular, one of the greatest ever cricketing sides. So I'm not saying this one is not a good side, but we had some real tough characters. You know, someone like Graham Thorpe. If you want someone to push out of the door at 20 for 2, Graham Thorpe would be my man.
Perfect. What's the best Ashes moment in your eyes?
Well, for me, 2005, the Oval, the bails coming off. You know, after years of pain and being battered and bruised by for Michael Vaughan's side to win, and the reaction in the country, the crowds that summer, the warm, hot summer, and the close games at Edgbaston. But winning that final moment of winning, I'd say probably arguably one of the better moments, as in was winning in Australia, 2010-11, Strauss's side. As history tells you, that is the hardest place to go. India and Australia are the hardest places to win Test match cricket. So Strauss's win in 2010-11, but for a nation, Vaughan in 2005.
Special teams. And then one word to describe Steve Smith.
Genius.
Genius. Why do you think that? Because of how he sets up and how he's changed?
Because came in as a Test number 9, bowled a bit of leg spin, and ever since that, in the middle of a Test match innings, he decided to do something a bit different and open his stance and shuffle across his stumps. And since then, he just gets runs for fun. He's allegedly a complete cricket badger. You know, he will. You know, speaking to some of the people who really know him behind the scenes, he's even more of a badger than we know he is, if you know what I mean. Which I quite admire, because I was a cricket badger, but he just liked coming over and playing for Sussex. You know, that I really admire things like that. He could have put his feet up. The amount of cricket he's played, he's going to play. I'll just rock up to Edgbaston and get another 100. No, I'm going to go and play and get ready for the Ashes. That really, that for me is a massive tick.
How would you try and get him out if you were captain?
They've tried both ways, actually. It'd be interesting, because if you speak to Stuart Broad, they tried LBW early on, because he shuffles across and bang, LB straight on, like anyone's vulnerable, whoever you are, but he just doesn't miss. He just gets bang, 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 and before you know it, he's 20 not out, and then you go outside off, but he's in then, and then he'll just leave it. So they tried outside off. And then recently, county cricket have been getting him out, albeit with a couple of dubious, where the England umpires have sort of said, we'll get on the Ashes side here, and have given him out LBW. So it'd be interesting. I think early on, any batter is vulnerable to straight deliveries. You're missing, you hit the stumps, LBW. So I would go with that early on, but not too long, because he's very, very strong through that leg side.
Brilliant. A couple of quick ones then. Vegemite or Marmite for you, Nas?
Oh, Marmite, yeah. But I've got into Vegemite, the more tools. And our Australian cameraman that we use, I'll give him a plug, Benjamin Wilkins, decent Australian, which is words you don't often use, but really nice Aussie. He's on our camera. He brings Vegemite on all our tours that we go together. So I've got into Vegemite more, but definitely Marmite.
Keep it British. Nas, would you suit a bucket hat?
I thought that the other day when the England boys were coming out, and Broady obviously, and like he did it, and no one said why they were doing it, and it came up on screen, the interview, and I was like, "Whoa, Broady, what are you wearing there, big lad?" And then obviously they explained it. They all had it. Stokes looks good in it, I have to say. Who else did we have? Ollie Pope. Even Pope, he had a little laugh at himself on screen. And I thought at the end, shall we all come on screen with myself, Wardy, and Kumar in bucket hats? Luckily, I thought maybe we shouldn't really, although it cover up me bald head. But that would have been by the end. You know, we may be all in bucket hats.
If we win it,
I'm not going to say
no. Right, Ward, Atherton, Hussain, some England greats in there.
Well, Vaughan, yeah. Or
Ward.
Vaughan. I thought you were talking Vaughan.
No. Well, I said Ward.
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 Okay.
I'll leave you to say that.
Right, okay.
Atherton and Hussain, some English greats.
Okay.
Who out of this three has won the most Ashes series?
Ward, Atherton, Hussain. Well, I haven't won an Ashes series, have I? I don't think. But I definitely haven't won an Ashes series. Atherton, then, I'm guessing.
Trick question. None
of that was what I was thinking. None of the. We were in the dreaded 90s and early 2000s. No, none of us, definitely.
What's the greatest sledge you've heard during an Ashes series?
Some you can't repeat on camera. It wasn't during an Ashes series. I was batting at Queensland in between games in Australia, and I went out to bat, and Ian Healy was keeper, and I played with Essex with Stuart Law, and I came in to bat, and I don't know who was bowling, McGill or someone, and Stewie Law went to Ian Healy, "Skip, do you want someone under Nasser's nose at silly mid-off?" And he looked at me and went, "Size of that nose, that'd be 3 miles away in a field, Stewie, so we better not do that." And next ball, I ran down the pitch and got stumped Healy, bowled McGill. So Warren sledged me in a game. Warren sledged me every single game actually. So no, they were smart. There was sort of mental disintegration from Steve Waugh, but smart. You know, there was smart sledging from Steve Waugh. McGrath was a bit more. If McGrath was losing it with you, you knew you were having a good day. If he was kicking his cap and chucking his cap on the ground and stuff like that. But I would say the best of them all was probably Shane. You'd go out to bat and Shane would be very nice to you. "Morning, Nas, morning, Shane." It's like, "You've been nice to me today." And then you'd get up his end, "You're playing all right?" "Yeah, yeah, thanks, Shane." And then he'll reel off how many times. He's a great, for the genius that he was, he knew everything. He knew your stats, he knew how many times he got you out, he knew how to make you tick, he knew how to wind you up. Shane was a pretty good sledger.
Brilliant. And then last one, Michael Vaughan came out this week and said that the Australian women's team are the best team, sports team on the planet. Nothing else. Would you agree with that?
It's difficult to argue. Actually, we did the world. I've done a lot of the women's games. I did the world 50 overs and then the world T20. Obviously, they just regulation won both of those. And I was on the outfield after they won the world T20 in Cape Town. And I said, and I thought it was a relatively big comment, I said, "This is the greatest women's cricket team that have ever played the game." And Tammy was next to me, and Tammy Beaumont went, "You could argue they're the greatest women's sporting side of all time." And that is difficult to argue against, really. I mean, their record is just phenomenal. They don't sit where they are. If they do have a little downturn, which is very rare, but they lose the odd, game here and there. But also the depth coming through. They're going to miss Meg Lanning in this Ashes series. But you can be certain with whoever they bring in will be absolutely ready. And also their cricketers don't rest on their laurels because of that, because there's so much depth coming through. So you talk about someone like Elise Perry, who was left out of their T20 side. And what Elise had to do was, because there were big hitters coming in, she had to up her game. And that's exactly what she did. She went off Big Bash and whatever, upped her game, and she was then striking it an incredible strike rate. So they're constantly, it's a good thing to learn for any team. If you stay where you are, other sides will catch you up. You've constantly got to look to improve. and that's what this Australian side have done.
Perfect. Thanks very much for your time, Nasser.
No worries.
Cheers.
Cheers. But
Thanks
thank
very
you.
much.
Very
Cheers.